right, man, let's talk about where the Detroit Lions are still weak at and where it's cause for concerns. Obviously, the schedule will be coming out sometime soon. Thursday, some things starting to leak out. It's Wednesday, but this will go up Thursday. So, I don't grade drafts. I kind of like what they did in the draft, but I think it's a hole to start. It's a potential hole to start off with. But check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. But it's hard, here I was looking at Mike predicting the 53-man roster. It was an article done about who and who won't make the 53-man roster. I think, the guys who gonna make it. I mean, realistically, you might have 10 or 11 spots that might literally be open for competition. Okay, so I don't really get into predicting the roster, and these holes are, can be filled by undrafted free agents, by guys that get cut post June 1st, by a potential trade, by a rookie that come out of nowhere and fill the hole. So, but one of the holes I'm gonna start off with is the draft. Not because it's the unknown, right? You can have, what about the kid from Houston last year, got picked in the 5th, 6th round of running back, Pierce? Without him, bro, they would have ran away with the first overall pick last year. So he's a bright spot. He gonna help Stroud out a lot. The reason I say the draft is because they drafted a lot of guys in a developmental position. Once you start looking at these guys and people talk about the value of a running back, well, they already told you that they see Jahmyr Gibbs as a weapon. What do that mean? Punt return, probably situational punt return. They see him as a receiver, and I think they're gonna use him out in the slot. They're gonna use him out in routes that they ain't use DeAndre Swift with. So he's gonna be used as like Percy Harvin in Florida is how I kind of see him being used. But when you look at Jack Campbell, inside linebacker, that take a couple years to develop. You know what I'm saying? And I think they know that, and that's why they signed Anders only to a 3-year deal, not to be a fucking backup. But if Jack Campbell beat him out, he beat him out. Now with Jack Campbell slide in and they slide him to outside linebacker. But yeah, my bad, I had to stop and start. But yeah, I can't remember. Oh yeah, with Jack Campbell, yeah, it's just a rookie class, unless they gonna move Rodrigo to the bench and or to the other outside linebacker, which the Lions base defense is the Lions base defense is, basically the nickel defense. That's what most teams are running now. So they running more base. They running more nickel base. But excuse me, I'm trying to get this down. Seatbelt on this wide. But yeah, they running more nickel based defenses or whatever now. So, but yeah, then again, you talk about Sam Laporta. Another guy to speak on, where tight end position take a while to pretty much develop. So I don't expect much from the tight end position as far as rookies. Like I said, Mike Ditka had one of the best, still had one of the best statistical tight end rookie seasons. And shit, he old as shit even from coaching. So that's something to kind of think about for a minute. But Brian Branch, I think he might play a little bit early, but he pretty much charged Chauncey Gardner's. He's pretty much his heir apparent for the next season. So once you start kind of thinking about that for a minute, I just believe that I just believe like some of the guys they drafted, Hendon Hooker, they talking about red shirting them. The developmental defensive tackle, developmental offensive tackle that's going to be a guard from William & Mary, Antoine Green, they talking about they drafted him. They drafted Antoine Green in the 7th round. I don't think it's no guarantee that Antoine Green is going to get in there and start. Make the team at all. So I don't think you count on somebody who ain't even going to make the team. So that's kind of something to chew on real quick. So even the rookie class, once you look at it, it's pretty much like They got a lot of developmental guys that you're not sure are gonna come in and contribute. And they saying, well, we drafted to make the playoffs, but we gonna have to wait and see. But they took a lot of developmental, position guys that take a year or 2 or 3 to develop and whatever. So that's something that I think a lot of people gonna have to like think about. But then you go and say the first thing that's the glaring weakness was the weakness last year was the interior defensive line. You get a healthy Pascal there, but I don't know how much Pascal is gonna play in the interior of the defensive line. That's one thing to think about. You don't know how much he gonna be able to play and how well he gonna do in there. Is he gonna be a Corey Redden where he just gonna physically build up to be a 3 technique? I ain't sure. So, it's a lot of ifs. He basically gonna be a rookie next year. So, that's something to kind of chew on for a minute. But moving on, then you count on Levi and his rookie, you count on Lee McNeil, Isaiah Buggs, and etc. I'm not sure how much you can count on those guys to kind of like really be, what you want them to be. So that's a $1 million question, bro. So Lee McNeil, bro, he's a run plugger. He ain't nobody that can pass rush. He had a good game versus the Giants where he was pass rushing and shit, but he could lose some weight and he could be a breakout player or whatever, but it's an anomaly. He was built to stop the run. So where your pass rush penetration gonna come from the interior of the line. And that's kind of what Aiden Hutchinson was missing last year. And the Lions was missing somebody who gonna penetrate from the middle and from the inside of the line. So that's a glaring weakness. Receiver is another one. There's another hole. I don't feel confident. Marvin Jones Jr., I keep telling y'all, bruh, he don't get no, he wasn't no guy who got big separation. He make a lot of contested catches. He good if he a 4th receiver, 5th receiver, but as a 3rd receiver, to me, it looked like they going right back to where they was at in the beginning. When Jared Goff was struggling to throw the ball, because once you go out there, yeah, you got some guy, St. Brown, what he could do on the inside and the outside, but he going to be a vocal point. So then when you got Josh Reynolds can never stay healthy, and then Khalif Raymond is cool, but you want him being your 2nd or 3rd option either. So, it's going to be a struggle. I know they're going to use Jahmyr Gibbs, and they're going to draw some things up, but historically, rookie tight ends struggle in this league. Kyle Pitts had a good rookie season. What they do after that? They made the adjustment. So, then when you continue to go say, where are other potential holes? The kicker. People forgot that. People talking about praising the kicker. They bring people in and compete with him. Dude lost a couple games for them last year. That Buffalo game, he make that kick. That game might be a totally different scenario for them. So, that's something to think about for a minute. That might be a totally different scenario for them. So when people laugh when I say he lost that game, I ain't laughing. The motherfucker did. But and then also the back end of the defense, and I'm gonna say that could be a potential hole right there. And people say, "Oh, CJ, they upgraded," but just because you upgrade the back end don't mean it's gonna flow well. Just because you got the back end together, it don't mean that it's gonna work well together. So they got to build some camaraderie back there. There's a lot of different pieces, from Kirby Joseph to Tracy Walker coming back to CJ Gardner-Johnson, Emmanuel Mosley coming off an ACL. Sutton, it seemed like he gonna be your number 1. Jerry Jacobs just really working his way back at some point in next season. So all them playing together is gonna be interesting. But yeah, just a few holes you look at. A few holes that you look at. I don't think it's anything too glaring other than the defensive tackle position, as far as the penetrators and stuff of that nature. But those are the only things I think that could really hold this team back. And obviously the quarterback position, if he don't have the proper weapons, and I don't think, people going to be looking at it as he don't have the proper weapons. They're going to be like, well, he can't get the job done. But every quarterback needs a little bit of help. And I don't, outside of St. Brown, I don't see a lot of help, therefore, I don't see a lot of help there for Jared Goff this year, you know, outside of Jahmyr Gibbs, so in the running game. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how they scheme up stuff. So not sure how they gonna scheme it up, or not sure, you know, how they gonna play it. But I think it's gonna be very, very interesting. I think it's gonna be very interesting to see kind of where they coming from. You know, how they gonna cover up some of them holes or whatever. But I mean, the biggest one to me is the interior line, defensive line. But hey, like I said, they can still add and get some people. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase the chance to get notifications. We go live, we drop video. Financially want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. Appreciate the love and support. Hit the link tree, find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Appreciate the love and support. One time for the one time. Don't forget to check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. More videos like this. Peace.